is Peter Cefai, our President and Head of Consulting and Strategic Alliances for IBS Software. Peter served as an executive with Honeywell Avient Technologies when IBS acquired Avient from Honeywell in September 2003. Prior to that, he worked at International Computers Limited in various roles. His global experience and vision in finding complementary partners and offerings has been instrumental in keeping us on the leading edge. He's a very good listener, and we listened to a number of customers today in various forums, and he will capture the essence of what we heard. Welcome, Peter Cefai.
One of the fundamental reasons IBS has been so successful is we listen. And we constantly listen, and we listen intently to what our customers are saying. One of my roles is I manage the customer satisfaction program, and within that we always ask at the end, is there any advice, input you would like to give to the most senior people in IBS? So today, as we have, as Rish Maharani said earlier, we have our customers here, so we visited our customers. We sat in a corner room and we listened to what they had to say. We decided to use an external moderator, Flo Lugley, who you saw on a panel earlier, to give it that level of independence. At no point did we want to try and sell IBS or try and position. We wanted to just absolutely get a view. What is on your agenda today? How do we position our company to do what we are fundamentally here to do? Help you transform your businesses so that you can support your customers better. That has been our ethos from day one. It is our ethos today. How do we help you transform your business? So what I'm going to do now is I don't have any slides because we had a 3-hour session. I'm just going to give you a few of the key takeaways, and hopefully that will give you some food for thought. And if there's anything you want to ask in a level of detail, come and grab me as we finish. So, the first question we posed was, what does it take to be a digital leader? There's a lot of conversation taken place over this morning about digital transformation. What does it actually take to get this done? Because we can talk about it, but what actions do we need to take? And there was a lot of talk about, we're creating digital offices, we've got executives who are responsible for that. Some people have got central teams. Some people have got teams embedded in the units. So a lot of talk about structure. Then one of the participants really posed a very important point. Do you want to be digital or do you want to do digital? Which stopped the audience, because the obvious thing is, what is the difference? Do you want to immerse yourself in this, or do you actually just want to paper over a few cracks? And the advice to the group was, if you really want to be digital, the first thing you have to do is you have to get your senior execs who've spent 20 years, 30 years working their way up the organization, know exactly how it used to work, and immerse them in the new way of working. Take them to an innovation lab. Take them to a set of startups. Let them see how new companies are thinking. And when you meet these guys in startups, innovation labs, it will give you a completely different mindset to what you have today. That then allows your executives to set the guidance, give the direction with a level of confidence and a level of understanding that they just don't have. Today it may be a reaction to a competitive pressure. They're embracing it from fear and concern. Let's stop talking about the challenge and let's start talking about the opportunity this creates. Because when we talk about Uber and we talk about these other disruptors, it almost feels like it's somebody else who has that opportunity. But the people in this room do one thing for people that is hugely important. It doesn't matter what geography you're in, what income you're in. That time you spend traveling with your family on the annual vacation is probably the most precious time you have, especially in a 24-hour, 7-connected world. Why can't we, as people who are providing that experience, be the brands that they admire most? Why is it they go to an Amazon or a Google who are providing commodities? Stuff we thought we wanted to get out of. Why can't we, by embracing digital, actually create the brands that are most respected and most loved by their consumers? Because we certainly know when they complain, they let everybody know about it. Let's reverse that, as we just heard from Akshay, 33 million tweets about airlines. So the first question was, do you want to do digital or do you want to be digital? And if you want to be digital, the advice was, immerse your senior executives in this new way of working. That will then create the culture, the confidence they have to then take this forward. The second thing was, actually, we talk about this being digital in a corporate world completely differently to how we behave personally. When we go home, we're happy to Skype, video call, WhatsApp. I'm not very good at this stuff, and all these other things. But at work, email is still seen as our preferred method of communication. What is stopping us actually behaving the way we do personally in the work environment? So I think the advice was, go out, ask your organisations, ask the people in them, why are you doing this? Why is it we're not able to embrace the way we operate personally, completely connected, in a manner that is intimate, personal, and is rewarding? It's a pleasure, these things. Can we embrace that style of working in our business world? Do we have to break down the barriers? You know, bless him, my father used to say to me, what time do you get to the office? And I used to say, it doesn't mean anything now, Dad. The office is 24/7. You're completely connected. You can't get away from this thing. But actually, we behave differently. So can we look at our own behaviour and say, actually, is there a way that we can embrace the way we work personally in the business world? And that would take us forward. That creates the environment. The next set of questions were, if we're going to embrace digital, and I don't think anybody thinks there's an option, this is going to be a massive transformational change. And here are the magic words. People don't like change. People love complaining. That's their pet hobby. Most people at work would rather complain about what we're not doing and what doesn't work than actually talk about what's new. And the minute you tell them we're going to replace this system that they've been moaning about, complaining about for X years, suddenly it's the most valuable thing they've ever had, and you can't possibly change it with something different. So if you want people to embrace this transformation journey, you have to make the change compelling. And you're either going to create that through a carrot or you're going to create it to a stick. But you can't make this change optional. People have to realise this is a journey we're on, we're in this together, and actually there is no getting off this journey, because you can't take this in small steps. You have to take the leap that says, if I'm going to create a culture which does not have fear of failure, which actually says it's not about failing, it's about learning, then I've absolutely got to embrace that change is at the heart of my organisation. And if you don't change, you're in trouble. Change, get it wrong, fantastic. We learn, move on. That's exactly what organisations do. Resist change, actually, that's not going to create the culture of the future. So these business transformation projects, and then it was put back to us as a supplier, you have to help us, IBS. You have to open our eyes to what's possible. We want you to move from just being the supplier of the software to the partner for the transformation. And our challenge to the IBS staff who are in this room is that's where we have to step up. We have to become the partners for transformation. We have to open people's eyes to what's possible, bring them the examples of what we've done in other places, listen to the challenges. Because what came back was there has to be a new paradigm with how you deal with suppliers. One of the key lessons we learnt was, if you want to embrace a fear of failure or encouraging to learn culture, you have to move far faster. You can't live with implementation times of 2 years and then find out, by the way, 100 million write-off, 2 years, who's going to survive their job in that environment? So we as suppliers have to create an environment where you can implement quickly, where you can test and learn, you can give feedback, and you can take small steps to give you indications, are we moving successfully? And all of that was taken on board by Rajiv and VK and Bratati, who are in the room. What do we as a supplier have to create? And there was a magic term called the ability to collectively learn. How can we embrace a situation where we have unknown information embrace that in our normal way of working, which is tight contracts, legal constraints, and actually embrace the fact that we're going to try and learn this together, create commercial frameworks that work for both parties. And yes, we as IBS, we take a level of risk. But we then put it to the customers and said, look, but are you prepared to change the way you purchase so that you can actually embrace, because if we're going to step up and help you learn, are you going to put the constraints on your purchasing who are classically driven by cheapest cost, shortest timescale? That created an interesting discussion. You know, should purchasing sit as a separate organization, or should it be embedded with purchasing, legal, and all the support functions to help the business make the change happen? So I think we've had some key takeaways. We as IBS have really found that a very valuable session. The feedback we got from our customers is vitally important, and it is going to shape how we view some of the initiatives we're going to take forward, some of the technologies we need to invest in, such as artificial intelligence, because our job is to help you anticipate the future and help you get there quicker. So thank you very much indeed.